to go ahead and. First of all, I think it's important that we do some introductions to make sure that the people that are here kind of know each other. So would you like to introduce yourself first?
Hi, I'm Harley Kerwin, my wife and I, Anita here. We own and run Jackalopes Corner on the end of Main Street.
And Badlands Outfitters.
And Badlands Outfitters on the other side of the post office. So both gift shops on either side of the post office in town. And yeah, that's us.
Thank you.
Anita Kerwin, introduce me. I am Molly Meadow, and I work for Joe Beach. I manage his stores and his restaurant.
Okay,
I'm Amanda Kerstead and I own the Badlands Post.
Matthew Henderson, Buffalo Gift Shop.
okay. And we also have some other folks with us today. If you'd like to introduce, so everyone at the table know who we have with us.
Hi, I'm Judy Goldhammer. Member and work at that.
And I'm Cindy Hawk, and I have 4th Avenue Floral in Wall, South Dakota. And I also decorate some of the businesses around town outside. I put pots in for Christmas and the spring to make them more appealing.
Very pretty, thank you.
Would you guys like to join us at the table, please? Daniel?
You get part of the coffee chair.
Yeah, please. Okay, Chris, you just want, oh, I'm sorry, I missed that.
Allie Webster with the Badlands or Wall Badlands Area Chamber of Commerce.
Okay,
Brian Dinger with the Planning and Zoning Committee.
Chris Casella, Planning and Zoning Committee.
Sean Burrell, Wall Economic Development Director.
okay, very good. And would you gentlemen like to introduce yourself?
I'm Daniel Corlinger, co-owner of Badlands News.
I'm Nathan Covington, I'm his dad, and I'm a co-owner also.
Okay, and joining us is Rick
Rick Houston, Waldrop.
and,
Kelsey Clark Waldrop.
okay, so thank you for being here and for introducing yourselves. The first thing I'd like to say is I want to thank you businesses because you were so respectful when the city council asked you to adhere to our ordinances this summer. That was a difficult time to do that. But I want to express how grateful I am that we had your cooperation. That speaks highly of your businesses, but it also gave me impetus to sit down and have a respectful conversation and hear your side and your thoughts about our Main Street. So one of the things, as indicated on the discussion guide, that's really important is that the streets need to be clean if we really want to have a welcoming community. So what the city has done is they purchased smoke poles, 6 additional ones, and put them at the, by the way, at the suggestion of Badlands Souvenirs. That's where that suggestion came from. And so the city moved on that, and we put more smoke poles on this side of the street. The drugstore already had 6 on their side. So we feel like that was something that should have helped in that area. Also, the Public Works sweeps the streets early in the morning, about 4 o'clock, twice a week, to try to keep the streets clean throughout the year. We ask the businesses to sweep your sidewalk and then put your debris in the trash, not in the gutter. If you just sweep it off your sidewalk and it ends up in the gutter, it still looks disgusting. So send as Juanita Schrader told me, she sends a dustpan out with the person that's sweeping the street, so it ends up in the trash. The post office continues to be a issue that it just seems like there's dirt that always accumulates there. So hopefully they will work hard at trying to keep that area, clean, because that's an important part of our community. At the same time, in the winter, we also need each of you to make sure that your sidewalks are scooped off in the wintertime, because it is very important as far as safe walking. So even if you don't have your business open, if you would make arrangements to make that happen. I also, in your packet, is a wall in the fall flyer in front of you. And the reason I put that in there is that the chamber at the last council meeting came and requested that that day, September 20th, you are allowed to have or they requested that sidewalk sales be available that day. And I didn't know if everyone was made aware of that, but I wanted to make sure that on that particular day, from about 9 to 5, they've indicated that they would invite you to do sidewalk sales, and the city council, at their request, approved that. So that's the reason for that particular flyer being in your packet. Then one of the things that I did to prepare for this conversation was I incorporated the help of a good friend, Judy Goldhammer, and we went on a field trip. And that field trip started in Spearfish. And what we found there is, like Wall, one of their sidewalks is smaller than the other side. But this is what their sidewalks look like. And we found it interesting that on this side of the sidewalk, or this side of the street, if you notice, one of the things we learned is they painted all the buildings on that side of the street the same color to make that inviting. This is something that they do on one of their corners. It's actually a fire pit, and across the street they have another area that's blocked like that causes people to sit down and have a conversation. One of the things we noticed were these really nice black benches, and those are in memory of different people, but they give a place for people to sit down on their street. This was Deadwood. This was the next place that we went. Now, I want to tell you that it cost us a little bit to go to Deadwood because we thought we parked in a free parking space, but not so much. So I contributed $20 to Deadwood for this little trip, and that's okay. But this is the entrance of the Outlaw Square. This is their main street. You'll notice there is a sandwich board there. You go down the street. What we notice there is the hooks that they use along the front of their windows that keeps their displays flat against the wall. You'll see there's a sandwich board. There's also a bench with a flower pot, and then notice the ladder there that also was very inviting. Dakota Sky has a store there. They have nothing on the outside. The inside is done marvelously. And this again is a picture along Outlaw Square. Notice the trees that they have there. And this goes into Outlaw Square. And this area becomes a skating rink in the wintertime. In the summer, they've got a big stage there. They have concerts. It's very inviting, very well done. And something I noticed in Deadwood is that staff from the different stores were out sweeping even the cracks of the sidewalk to make sure that they were just extremely clean. This is Hill City. Hill City is a little different. We noticed that, yes, there's the sidewalk, but then they also had where it was railed off in front of their businesses. So that was a different thing. Here is again a display of shirts on the outside of a building, but it's flat. It's not in the street. And they also use like that wire to help hang things from. This is Keystone. Keystone had a lot of racks outside. Didn't look quite as tidy as some of the other streets that we saw. They did use mannequins. And this is Wall. This picture was taken when the cactus was still there. You'll see our flower pots hanging on, in the front. So very busy, street, lots of opportunity here. But as was brought up at the last meeting, this is a situation that we have now with our, fence that causes people maybe to not continue down. So maybe this is an area that we may need to address or try to make it look a little bit more inviting. So that was our field trip that we took. I thank Judy for doing that. She took the pictures, took the notes, and so it helped me understand more about what other streets or other communities are doing. In your packets and in your letter that you received as a business is the city ordinances that are somewhat addressed in that we have in place now. And I think that those are what we're here to talk about. So what I would like to move forward with now is give each of the Main Street businesses an opportunity to share their thoughts about what you feel about our Main Street and what suggestions you might want. I would ask us to stay within 3 to 5 minutes so that we can move around the group and everybody have an opportunity to actually be part of the conversation. So with that being said, is there anyone that would like to start of our Main Street businesses to share your thoughts?
I can start, I guess. So love your presentation there on that. The Outlaw Square that you're referencing in the park benches as like a green space, seemed like a really great thing. I know how it works in Deadwood. I'm there every day. It's really a neat thing. When your last slide kind of made me think, I mean, like, you know, Deadwood has Outlaw Square. I mean, if the city of Wall has it in their budget to purchase that piece of property and beautify it and put like an Outlaw Square, but like maybe like a cowboy square or something that would fit with the city of Wall's motif, might be a really great inviting thing, allow customers and people in Wall to have a space to sit down and enjoy the town. Since the last meeting, we were talking about revising the ordinance and making changes. If we could get along with it, that's why we're here today, to try to find a common ground that everyone would be happy with. I don't know when the last ordinance was drawn up, but probably a long time ago, and it seems like a lot of businesses in town, especially after the new guys in town, Nathan and his David, was it?
Daniel.
Daniel. Nathan and Daniel came to town. They had a different vision and it caused a lot of stir, and we wanted to maybe see if we can revise things. Since then, we did drop a new revision to the ordinance. And I can hand it out to, I don't know if we have enough, I think we have enough for the members of the table. And we already passed out to the city council here and mayor. So on our revisions, we had provisions for businesses may place up to 2 mannequins per business which display merchandise, but only if they're placed against the building, just as the mayor was saying here with the other pictures that she had in the other towns where things were up against the building. Businesses may display merchandise on their doors, which open out onto the sidewalk, which is currently not allowed on city ordinances. Provided such merchandise does not exhibit vulgar language and reasonably objectionable pictures or representations. Trying to control it, in Deadwood, Keystone, Hill City, there's other businesses that'll display shirts such as "I pooped today" or excuse my language, but F Joe Biden or F Trump. I don't care who you vote for, but we don't want to see it. And I don't think it's a very family oriented thing. So trying to put language in the ordinance to prevent that from happening. If we do allow this display of merchandise outside, to kind of give us a vibe like we're open for business and we're exciting, and it gives people a reason to slow down on their walk down the sidewalk rather than just running through town, getting in the car and going out. Trying to catch the customer, the fly, with a little honey. Such displays may not include fluorescent or unpleasant signage or presentations showing prices. Other information may be placed on the open doors. So like some businesses put these fluorescent signs like sale and they're handwritten and they look kind of tchotchke like. We want to keep it elevated. We want to keep it pretty. We don't want to have it look like a flea market.
I think something that you've probably seen a lot in Keystone, there's a lot of neon signs, there's a lot of scribbles and stuff. It doesn't look classy, it doesn't look pleasant, so, I mean, it has to be limited and, somewhat, everybody looking uniform, a certain thing that we can display outside, like a couple of mannequins and a couple of screws for the things outdoors. Everybody should have an equal amount of items that they can put outside, so it's fair to every single business in here. And yeah, just kind of, give it a green light to all the customers and understanding that, hey, we are open. Because even some of the slideshows that I've seen, like Spearfish, if they don't have a sandwich board outside, or if they don't have some sort of a indication that they're open, I'm looking down the street, I'm just seeing empty sidewalk. So I am not sure if I actually should go there, if they're open or not. So even such thing like a little sandwich board or a shirt outside or a mannequin outside gives me a green light to go and check them out because I know they're open and I'm not wasting my time just walking out there. So I think it's fair for everybody to have a little chance to get attraction to each individual store on the main street.
And like at Spearfish, there's a day of the week, I don't know which it is. It's like a Monday or a Tuesday or a Sunday where a lot of businesses are closed. So they look the same whether they're open or closed, and you don't know if you're gonna get out of the car. I mean, I've done it before. I've gotten out of the car. I'm like, oh, they're closed today, and then most everyone else on that same particular day is closed also. So open for business, having something out there that catches attention, make it look like you're open, helps.
Yeah, if we can find a middle ground between being Spearfish and between going towards Keystone direction, like if we can get this like Deadwood middle ground. When it looks lively, we're displaying things outside when it's not gonna be in a hazard of somebody tripping over displays or something, that would be great. But looking like the ghost town is not a good look, or looking like we're a flea market like in Keystone, it's not a good look either. So we all understand that. That's why we just wanna find a compromise.
And so I have a cover letter here that we drafted up too. The area of the main street in consideration is a commercial district, the sole purposes of which to attract business and customers. I mean, we're commercial, we're not like a residential neighborhood. The right to display merchandise on the outside of an open door provides a preview to customers what businesses offer and gives notice that the business is open and wants the customer's business. And the third one, and I'm trying not to take up any longer time than I need to, allowing the displays and music, we are requesting would only be a boon for the city, given the extra sales tax revenue helping the city with operational budget and finances. So the more money that the city businesses bring in is more sales tax revenue, and the bigger the budget for the city to help out with operational expenditures. I don't see a lot of reasons why not to do this, but other than like, we want to have a little control if we do it. We don't want to have neon signs hand scribbled. We don't want to have, I pooped today. We want to have it controlled and we want to have a reasonable limit on what to do. We don't want to look like Keystone.
Exactly. Thank you. That
Is
was,
there something there? Can I say something?
yes, go ahead.
So I'm new to this town, okay, and some of the pictures, by the way, thank you very much, it was very nice pictures. Some of the properties that you show is, I own this property in Hill City. You guys miss Custer is probably worse than Keystone. And I own-
We only had so much time. We had to get that.
But so I own some properties in Custer also, and I have the same discussion with the mayor of Custer to try to eliminate the mannequins and t-shirt outside. But I can tell you one thing, I talk to customers here that come from Custer or come from Hill City or come from Keystone. And when we put merchandise outside or display outside, increase our sales. If we don't increase our sales for Walt, for City of Walt, it's more revenue for the city, more revenue for the county. It goes to different county, different city, different people. So that's all what I can say. And I own properties in Custer, in Hill City. I know all the people in Keystone, they're all my friends. And Deadwood also, I know Harley for many years, I know all the other people. So I can just say that it will do better for the city. Like I agree with Harley and his wife, that we have limited the display, not to the crazy display, but it will help the city. That's all I can say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Molly, I guess we're going around the
Yeah.
table, so.
So I probably walk from the Badlands to the Salty Steer probably 30 times a day. A lot of the summer. And on this side of the street, it is like a wall is there. So I get what these guys are saying because they see that big long stretch of fence and they think, I don't think I'm gonna walk down there. It is, there may as well be a wall there because that's basically what is going on. So I do get that putting things out on the sidewalk would help them immensely. Yeah. And, just from running their store before, it is a huge difference to have your doors open and even one or two t-shirts hanging out there. It draws people in so much. And I just feel like if they are responsible for the sidewalk, clearing snow, keeping it clean, fixing it if something's wrong with it, I really think they should be able to put stuff there. Another thing is, if we're cleaning the streets, I would like to see like once a week or once every 2 weeks that they wash the sidewalks as well. They did it during COVID a couple times. Yeah, and they are disgusting. Dogs poop on them.
Oh,
And it'll just sit there forever and ever, especially through the cactus part there. Cause that gets ignored, so I would really like to see them watching the sidewalks as well. Early in the morning, they could drive by the time people showed up. It'd be great if that could happen.
We get
About a
pick-
week ago, actually, I just came in and it was early in the morning, it was 9 o'clock, so there was not a lot of customers on the sidewalk, but I had huge piles all over in front of Jackalop's Corner, so I mean, just all over the place and people were just dragging it, so I did not know how to pursue that. I grabbed a bunch of my t-shirts and I actually probably spent about a good $80-90 worth of just picking up with the t-shirts, I grabbed buckets of water, I put a lot of cleaning solution over there, trying to scrub it, trying to get rid of smell, trying to get rid of everything. So I mean, yeah, if we can pressure clean the sidewalks, it would be amazing. Even if we wanna maybe put it in a city budget, I feel like every business will be okay to just donate a little bit, so we can have sidewalks really nice and clean and smelling good.
That should
I
be
think
an
there's
easy
gum from the
do.
70s on them.
There's,
There's gum from the 70s on them, I'm sure of it. Yeah, they're disgusting.
well, that's a work, okay, that'll be done. That's not a problem.
We had some pizza that was on the sidewalks in Deadwood that got all, and the grease just soaked into the concrete and like, so we got a pressure washer to try to clean that up. And this is difficult.
Okay, thank you. That's a good suggestion and that's an easy fix. Amanda,
I mean, I agree with a lot what everyone's saying too. I just think it's when you start, like, for example, most ordinances that I've looked at in a city or town, they always have like the 5 feet rule. I think, cause obstructing the flow of traffic, that's like the main concern, you know what I mean? So like, how do you police, like if you know what I mean, if I put my card on the sidewalk or, you know what I mean? Like who would police that if we were to change the ordinance? Like I do think, the ordinance that we have could be changed a little bit, absolutely, but like, as far as like changing the street, I don't know, as I look at the pictures, it does look really nice to have like it kind of open and like their side of the street is empty too, so I have like, I try to get what they're seeing too, but yeah, basically what I'm saying is I agree with mostly what everyone's saying. I just feel like the 5 feet rule, I mean, that is important. Like there is like families that walk on the sidewalk that you have to get over with just on our side that's bigger. So putting something else in front of our streets too, that would be tough to like, I don't know, handle. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but just, I don't know, I changed my mind a little bit on my first initial thought, just because. I do think it does look better being open in the flower pots, and I mean, some of my signs too, like is handwriting that's junky on there, I'm like, gosh, like it made me realize like we could clean up. A little bit in this town too, and after seeing like Deadwood, I love that, I wish we would have a Main Street Square like they do, cause I feel like that would be awesome, but. So yeah, basically,
Yeah, that's
Good
right,
thing.
it will need to be tasteful.
right,
Okay. So
and
you're-
everyone's idea of tasteful is so different, you know what I mean, like, that's why it's hard to like get, we all have the same opinion, so. Yeah.
I think you're closer in your opinion than you think. But to address your 5-foot rule, okay, I'm looking right here. Is that about 5 feet? Right here, this little,
close, that might be about
Would be
4.
You could lay on the floor.
This is 6.
I mean, that's what I was basically thinking of, most. have
Well, it's
like a
close to
5
5, yeah,
foot four
really close to
piece
5.
That I could
Well,
see.
yeah, a little bit.
And that would be
Probably
from like
four.
the pole to the wall, which that's probably 5 foot right now, right? I don't know, I was just looking at other cities' ordinances, just to see. You know, what they had to say, so I just. Yeah,
because I'm thinking of that Spearfish, the side of that
Mhm.
street. And they put their sandwich board out here. They had flower pots out here. But they still had at least that much space to walk on that side. The other side was larger and they had the benches and the very tasteful clothes racks.
Yep.
Like there wasn't probably more than 15 items on those clothes racks that we saw that day.
And it only takes one, I mean, to get people,
right,
to catch people.
Right, you don't need every
Yeah,
side.
you don't have to have.
Exactly.
You just need
2,
one
3
of
racks
that,
back
and one of
there.
the,
Yeah.
it just depends, yeah. Mhm.
I can
And
say,
Deadwood does, for the policing of it, they use the building inspector.
okay, in the city of Custer, they have, like 2 or 3 feet from the building, they have like a diamond shaped, mark on the floor. And you can do almost anything, you can hang, you can put racks and everything up to the diamond shape mark. And after that, it's a walk through for the customer, so. This is one suggestion that I can suggest.
Okay, that's called the diamond rule.
Diamond shape mark.
Like a
Mark
brass,
on the sidewalk.
is it just like a spray painted on, or is it a
It's
brass engine?
It's just a spray print, that's all.
Okay, spray paint.
Okay, all right, Judy, put it on your calendar. We gotta go to Custer to see these diamonds.
It's all part of the work anyway.
So, Amanda, anything else? Matthew, what would you like to visit with us about?
I thought your pictures looked great. Should have invited me for the field trip, I probably rode along. I kind of agree with Amanda when she talked about families walking down the street. I have a large family. Raised here in Wall. I love Wall. I think that we shouldn't compare ourselves to other towns. We should
Exactly.
set our own rules, do our own thing. Not try to be other towns. And with that being said, I think it looks awesome with a clear sidewalk. Kind of how the rule is written now. If you want to attract people, I think you can through most businesses have windows. And display things in the windows. And I think if you do allow anything, it's just gonna get taken advantage of. There's no policing of it.
Well, it'll be a hard ordinance, right?
I think even like, you look at the snow removal. There's a few businesses that don't remove their snow. And I don't know if anything happens to them. And then I think it's just, you let one thing happen, like say, yeah, you let them hang 2 things on the outside, it's just gonna snowball. And then pretty soon you're gonna have a rack out there, and in my opinion, it looks trashy when you compare it to the other towns. I think Wall is a nice community. But that's my opinion.
Okay, so you have had, you and Amanda both have had racks and displays outside. And you're saying that you're thinking you need to pull back in and not,
Yeah, I'd have no problem. I used to put a rack in my entryway, how my windows stick out and my doorways back in. I had a small cart that I just put random things on, like things as stale of the day or something like that. And I'd have that up against my door, tucked back within my property, in my opinion. But I would agree, it doesn't need to be there. I saw no change in my business as far as having that out or pulling it in.
That was me too. I just was so set on setting it out there. After I just tucked it in my store, I saw it sold just the same, you know, and that's what I do. I do have to regress stores back. But and I feel like my store would be different, but I would be willing to leave it inside too. You know, the doors, maybe we could try to put like 2 items or something like that, but I do think it does look nicer.
I see big difference between putting stuff outside and putting inside. And talking money wise, it's about $1,000 a day, different, a day. And I can just say one thing. People come to the Black Hills, they go to Wolf, they go to all these other cities, and they come with budget, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. So if they spend the money in Keystone and Deadwood and other places and not spending it at Wall, it will hurt Wall in the end also. So
So I'm with you here on that same thing, Nathan. We do notice a difference in our sales, and I'm not sure if it's the fact that we're on the other side of the street from the attraction, which is Wall Drug. I mean, the town exists because of Wall Drug. It exists because of all the billboards. Everyone goes to Wall Drug. They're naturally on that side of the street. To get them over to our side of the street, a little bit more difficult. And then considering the void where the cactus no longer is, doesn't make it any better. And then the Wall Drug gift shops that are papered over windows doesn't make it any better. There's just so many things that don't make it any better for our side of the street. And so I'm with Nathan on that regard there, and sales did matter to us on our side for the removal of the merchandise.
I also have an empty lot that I own in the city of Sturgis. And it's just occupied in doing the rally. And we're talking to the city of Sturgis to do like a big pavilion over there, to do like a snow arena in the winter, to donate to the city, the arena. So the city can do parties, they can do ice skating or whatever. And I'm really thinking if anybody wants to invest money and to buy this empty lot, the cactus thing, and do something similar, either the Outlaw Square or just do ice arena, big pavilion that people, family can sit over there, have lunch or, do whatever. I have a different ideas and I'm working on something. So if anybody wants to, I wanna do like a green space. Yeah, I wanna do something that is gonna attract more people to town. People can sit down a little bit more. Sometimes people looking for place to sit in the street, just sit down and relax for 10 minutes and they don't have nowhere to go there. I mean, sorry, they have like 2 benches next to Old Rock, but it's just a few benches that barely enough for 1 or 2 families.
Yeah, during the peak season, it's not enough seating, I feel like, in this town for all the amount of people that we have. I've only been here for 1 season, but I have eyes.
exactly. Okay. Rick, would you like to make some comments? Or-
Yeah,
Yes.
I was glad, Amanda mentioned the 5-foot rule. I really think for safety reasons, we need to keep our sidewalks clear. The sidewalks are under the authority of the city. Now, I've noticed when we did have the racks out on this side of the street, just observe one situation. And it was at your store, the rack was out, or 2 of them, or whatever you had out, and there was a family gathered around, they blocked the whole sidewalk. I mean, you couldn't get through. And I think that's a bad deal. And if we have people wandering out into the street and, or falling off the curb, trying to navigate, I think the city is gonna incur a certain amount of liability for that situation if we start allowing, merchandise on the street. I don't think it should be there, and and the sandwich boards. I think the ordinance that we have in place now is fair and effective. It's the same for everybody. We have signage, ordinances on downtown, the amount of signage coverage, that each business can have. It's, by square footage. I think it's, I know the Wall City Council has always tried to have, and especially in downtown, a level playing field. Everybody plays by the same rules. I think the ordinance we have now is effective. It looks clean and classy. We're a unique town, and I think everybody should play by the same rule.
I'm in agreement with Rick here on everyone playing by the same rules. The signage ordinance, like you're saying, that there's rules, but it's not being followed. Banners are being left beyond 30 days. They're only supposed to be a temporary thing. I'd like everyone to play by the same rules. I'd love to put banners over my place too. I'd love to stack banners up like Harley Davidson does. I'd like to put banners up, like the Buffalo Gift Shop does. I'd like to put banners up like Joe Leach does that stay up there longer than 30 days. But if I would do that, I've been yelled at before about that in the past, and that's not allowed. But currently, the signage ordinance is not being followed. The racks or no racks, people blocking the sidewalk, it happens all day long. People get together, they're two different big families or one big family, they're gathering back up, meeting. They block the sidewalk regardless. I've seen it happen so many times.
Talking about blocking the sidewalk. And
sorry, Rick, I let you finish before
Rick, can you?
before I interjected.
oh, I'm sorry. Is this the second time you've done?
I'm sorry?
Rick,
What?
can you let him finish?
Oh, I will, yeah.
Okay, thank you,
Sorry.
thank you.
So when I'm walking up and down the sidewalks in Deadwood or here, there is families that stop in the sidewalk and I take the street to get around them. I understand that's just a consequence of having large families and it's just hard to get around some people. Every now and then it happens. But racks or no racks, it happens. It's just a fact of life. But yeah, I'm finished. You can go, Rick.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
So it appears that, to me, what I saw then is probably why they, in some communities, they go against the wall as opposed to using racks, especially on smaller streets. That's what I.
One thing too, in America on our sidewalks, which is the city's responsibility, that they're safe, people are bigger. I mean, Americans are bigger than they used to be. And, sometimes if you have three people walking together, you can't get past them. It's just a factor.
So that's a rack.
Correct. Racks or
One
no
person
racks.
to rack. I mean, you can say the racks are a problem, but it could be just one oversized person could be a problem too, so it's like.
I don't think you can.
It's hard to get around this place and it's also hard to get around like people. It's the same thing. It's just the way it is. I mean,
Just like the
you
mayor,
have to find a way around it.
just like the mayor's point. The shirts are against the building. Spearfish had some sandwich boards that are up against the curb. But one way or another, need to keep the sidewalks clear, whether it's against the building or whether it's against the curb, something like that. So it's no obstruction.
And that's common sense. I mean. Whether
Like
you're
Nathan
putting it
brings
out
up-
there or not, you should know not to block the walkway.
And we have that happen with dogs over here all day long too. The person just stops with the dog on a leash and stuff and like, you just have to find your way around that person. I mean, it's just, you're strolling, you're walking, you're a tourist and stuff. anything could happen. Somebody could have a little bit of shortness of breath. You're gonna stop in the middle of the sidewalk. What you gonna do? You're not gonna pick them up and move it. I mean, like, you just go around, you find your way around. We all understand that. So, and again, this is a pleasant town. This is a pleasant city. So we might as well just keep it that way. Again, every time I have to bring the stuff from the car in and out all the time. I don't get upset when I have people my way. I either wait or walk around. I mean, I think it's just, we have to find the agreement over here. The only reason why we're not agreeing, because some people oppose to it and some people are pro, you know. A lot of people on the other side of town, they don't experience the shortness of sales, the lack of customers, and just lack of excitement overall. We do. So that's why it is important to us, and that's why we're trying to bring our point of view to you guys, because it's not the same for you, but we have been struggling, so we're just trying to be fair with it.
Wasn't here right at the start. What is your name?
Anita. Anita?
Oh, Anita, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Oh, Judy,
I just want to speak before I have to leave, but I just wanted to, I've been on the beautification committee for many years through the chamber. And my office was in the bank, and so I've been an owner when I renter. The one thing that has not been mentioned and that I feel I should mention is my husband, when he was alive, was in a wheelchair. And there were many mornings, you know, where we would go to get the mail or whatever, where I pushed him across the tracks and down the sidewalks. The one thing that I think, if you do allow, racks, you don't want to do the picture 22 and 23, where they're along and they're not beside parallel to the place of your business, because that does really make a difference for handicap people. And I mean, I don't want to take any business away from anybody, but those people have to shop too, and they have to get into the store and be able to turn their wheelchairs around, and we have a lot of them come in. So, and I think too, with the ones that did have the organized racks, which was in Hill City, and I think that was on 17 and 18, where you could display a lot of shirts if you wanted to, and be able to display your merchandise, and it was very easy to see which one you liked and didn't like because it was right there. I didn't think that it looked distasteful, but I guess that's my own personal opinion. I think if they're on the doors, I don't think that's a big deal. You just open your doors and you have racks, and you can put probably at least 2 t-shirts on the doors or whatever. So I guess I think that there's room for compromise. And I do have to agree, though, that we need to keep it cleaner. And I think the washing of the sidewalks is essential. And I think that, there should be a little bit of compromise here, because I do feel for those people on the other side that don't have the bigger sidewalk. And I talked to those store owners on the other side when we were in those other towns, and they said, well, we just try and keep our racks closer so that it doesn't cause a problem. Or we put the bars up and did that too. And I didn't think it looked untactful, let's put it that way. But, as far as your sale items, like Amanda found that, we put them right in the front door as they came in, and they saw them too. So, I think that you can do that too. There's ways of working around it, but there's ways of making it easier if not. That's my take on the deal.
Cindy,
I would just like to say that Wall is a very nice town, but there are a lot of things we can do to make it more inviting. Right now, you go down Main Street and, the west side is very desolate, and it's not inviting. You go over on the other side of the street, I looked to see what people have out. First day I came and everything was down in front of the 2 end buildings. I was like, it's gonna rain. Why don't we have anything outside? I can't see what they have. So I can decide whether to go in. And over to Amanda's on it. What happened to her stuff? You know, did we have, what happened here? You know, was there some event that made everybody withdraw all their stuff? You know, when I go down and decorate some of the businesses and put the planters up, I get comments all the time. That just makes Wall look wonderful. You
Love it.
know, I do 50 pots throughout 2 communities. And that's inviting. Right now, we hang bags because it's hard to get businesses to be able to take care of their pots, I understand. And so now we're doing bags, but still, you know, I mean, I'm sorry, Rick, but your blinders make me crazy. I don't like the blinders. I wanna see the people that are at your store. I wanna see what you have in your windows. I wanna see if there's something more between you and Amanda. And our main street is not right, and I feel bad about that. Whatever we do, whether we put merchandise out or whatever, but we just need to invite the people to stay here, because they are going to the other communities, excuse me, and they're buying. They're going to Custer, they're going to Hot Springs, they're going to Hill City, Deadwood, they're going. So that's what I have to say.
Just like it's a competition between businesses for customers, it's a competition between cities for dollars.
Yep. Cities.
I forgot something though. The one thing I came out with on this, and came home with, and I'm very passionate about, are the black benches that they have on there. They are beautiful, and you know what? I know a way to pay for it. That's the good news, because we did that down, remember when we were on the beautification, we had the aggregate, picnic tables down there? They're
On
beautiful.
South Boulevard. you're
Yeah, on
talking.
the boulevard, down at the end, and there, I think, are 4 or 5 of them, and they were all donated in memory of. Now, I can't think of a better way than to spend your memorial money, and I can tell you at coffee today, I already sold 2 of them. People that wanted to buy them and donate them to Main Street. They're no maintenance, they're metal, and they have the plaque on it and say who is in memory of.
We'll buy one.
So I think, you know, and if it's gonna be too much on that side of the street to block the flow of traffic, whatever. You know, I mean, we'll get as many, I mean, I would be willing to take it on as a project and get it done. Because I think that the benches that are there now they're just nothing but maintenance. I mean, they need to be painted every year and taken care of, and these, I would assume, maybe even get to stay out all year long, I don't know. But they're beautiful.
And they use our windowsills right now as seats.
Right,
Especially
you know,
on the
I
side.
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is no.
Anyway, if you want me to, I would go for it.
They've broken a few windows in Deadwood with sitting on those windowsills and they lean back into the window and crack the window, so I've seen them replacing windows over the years.
Well, I think bringing up benches is a good point, because on that side of the street, you have a bench, Amanda, and then you have 2, right? In front of your stores.
Yes.
Okay. And so those are taking up space also and so what I hear is that it's benches are good over there and they take up space. And I'm not in favor of racks, but racks over here seem to be, on this side of the street, seem to be a problem. But yet racks actually take less space than what a bench would. So that's just my thought when we talk about,
So I didn't read through these, or benches are allowed on Main Street in front of your businesses? Is that in the,
We've had benches in front of Wall Drive
forever.
for 50 years.
That's right.
We used
but
to
I'm
have
saying,
them
is
on,
it in the ordinance?
no, it's
So
not,
there's no ordinance against
because
it?
it doesn't fall under display of sales, you know, but. The FFA or whoever.
That's
And,
what mine is.
and the
Mine-
Lions
I never picked it back
Club
up.
at different times, yeah, because they quit doing it, but, and the Lions, they used to have benches that had their name on it. I mean, over the years, there's been different groups that have done them.
So like if we wanted benches around the Salty Steer, would we have to get a permit or?
Not if it's seating, for seating. If you
Yeah,
set them out there and then you
sidewalks,
start
too.
putting stuff on them, you know, then it would
So
look
is it
different.
gonna be okay to have benches on this side of Main Street then?
I thought it already was, okay.
Well, there's no ordinance against it,
Wasn't there some in front of the bad land?
which I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah,
There was at H.
I just didn't want you to think that we would be sticking benches where you guys might want to display stuff. if you do have racks out. I mean, that's what
Yeah,
I,
there used to be benches in there.
Yeah.
it's up to you. But if somebody wants a bench out in front, I'll find somebody to pay for it. Find it.
Let's just put benches everywhere, it'd be good.
Well, I just wanted to clearly understand that if racks are a problem, benches are wider.
I thought it was retail on the street was the problem. From the sidewalk.
Tripping hazard.
Well,
roll.
Yeah, people like the benches.
They
Well,
show, no one sits down
There's
in
a
the
lot of-
dog.
And I'm a favor
I mean,
of
that's,
benches.
yeah, cool. Yeah, I watch around 1,000 of them.
It's the same thing with the benches, cause I walk over there past your bench all the time. And when somebody sits down, there's usually 3 or 4 family members standing around that, so that sidewalk gets blocked, just like if those people were looking at racks. So if you're talking safety, the benches are just the same as a rack.
Absolutely.
For a hindrance, because it blocks the sidewalk, that gets congested on that corner all the time as people sit down and their family members stand around them, and they're just sitting there talking, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just walk around them, like Nita was saying, and move on with your day, but if you're talking safety hazards, they're both safety hazards. So, I mean. When you say walk around them, I mean, you look at Keystone on 22 and 23, you're in the street walking around. So if you don't position them parallel to your,
Yeah.
either, front end, it's gonna be a problem for people that, and in wheelchairs, what I'm saying. Right, well, it's the same whether it's a. And I guess I disagree, I don't think that benches are bigger than racks. No, yeah, it's the same congestion. Well, yeah. Yes, you causing the same congestion, but you can have a narrow rack, just like a narrow bench. Then do you want just empty? No, I don't want empty, I'm just saying that if you're talking level playing field and keeping both sides the same, a bench is causing a hindrance just like a rack is, right?
But-
You're getting a group of people around a bench, you're getting a group of people around a rack.
No,
So-
I would like to say that on business behalf, I think we can all agree that we don't wanna do perpendicular racks sticking out into the traffic and everything. If it's gonna be a rack, it should be against the building, it should be tucked in as much as you can to your windows and stuff, so it'll be the least interference for the pedestrians,
So
so.
that's if we go for a rack.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, that's an.
Yeah, but Keystone number 22 and 23, that is completely out of the question, even as a business owner, it's just something that I think that it should not be allowed, period.
Right, and we
Going all the
wanna,
way out.
we don't wanna be like Keystone, and we don't wanna model or wall like another city. Sure, we'll find our own way to do this, and that's what we're here for, but, yeah, we'd like to
Left
just,
behind either.
I'm sorry?
We also don't wanna get left behind either, like we've been saying, if revenue doesn't get spent here, it gets spent somewhere else. Which means less for our community here.
because Wall has an opportunity. Those people coming from the east stop here. Thank you, Wall Drug, for your zillion billboards. They stop here. So if we are inviting and we get people on both sides of the main street and spending dollars, that helps the city, absolutely. So I think what I have heard today is that racks in the street probably are not something that anybody here today is in favor of, but against the wall, maybe. Keeping it close, maybe. Benches, like what Judy has in mind, sounds like could easily be done. I hear, Cindy saying flowers, just, definitely, add beauty. So a flower pot beside a bench, is that gonna be an okay thing? I think there was a picture of that in one of the cities. So, I guess that's what I'm trying to get at is where, as someone else said, where can we have some common ground here to make it look inviting, getting people to stay here a little bit longer and spend a little bit more money. So,
Why does there have to be a change? I think Wall's been inviting for 50, 60 years. Someone said that they didn't think Main Street looked inviting right now, but I completely disagree with that. Wall's busy. It's busy where it attracts business people from, not just Wall, from other places to open businesses here. So in my mind, Wall is inviting.
Where would someone open a business on Main Street?
Who's coming in new to do that?
Why the empty lot has been empty for
Yeah.
3 years now?
But they also bought a building where they
I think the cactus lot is for sale.
Yeah.
We all.
The reason why we're all here today is because we're looking for change. Some of us are, maybe some of us are not, but, we're here today because we want to discuss it. And if none of us were looking for change, none of us would be here.
I was just saying that I think Wall is inviting people to come here. So when you say it's not inviting, I think that's wrong.
Well, it's inviting, but we can always make it better. Flowers and benches and maybe some merchandise display is not gonna hurt any. Only gonna make it more attractive. Well, it's never
Green
hurt anybody.
space. Right now, people don't stay in Wall. They come, they do what they're going to do, the Badlands Wall Drug. And then they're going on to another adventure. They're not staying here to spend their money.
Like we used
So
to.
why are we gonna invite them to stay here and do something and sit around and visit? You know, there's even at Christmas time, we're talking about stuff with the chamber. Right now, we have one business that really puts on this, you know, that they want to invite people in to buy for Christmas. Waldrop, thank you. But there are families that would like to come here to Wall, but we don't have businesses open. And they would like to spend their money here, go out as a family, because that might be what they do for Christmas. What do we have to offer them? Do we have that they can see that these guys are open, that you're open, that Rick's open, that Amanda, what are we doing to invite them to come in?
Well, some businesses aren't open.
I know. Oh,
Right,
wow,
and I think that has to go to with families not staying here, our pool,
Yeah.
like, what is there for kids to do?
exactly.
There's no space, I mean, if they have like, you know, he has the sprinklers in the backyard, but as far as like the pool, you know. I personally would just be a day trip here too and leave and go,
It used to be.
it never used to be that way. But Rapid City has so many,
Excuse me, what was your point on the pool?
the pool, I'm just saying, like, our pool is. Not an attraction, it's not an attraction, so I went through Zion National Park last summer, and again, a town just like ours, there was not a lot going on besides Zion National Park, but their pool was amazing, and that's where I spent, it was $20 to get in every day. I spent that because that was something for my kids to do, we shop, you know, it's a very town, very similar to ours. Had it not had that pool, I don't know what I would have done, but our pool, like, I mean, there's dead frogs all over the pool, and it's just like, it's very not inviting, like, if I would see that pool, I probably wouldn't go there as a mom, just saying, like, we drive to Rapid pools once or twice a week. I'm saying, if we had something like that for our town, I can guarantee you, families would stay the night here more, I mean, they really would.
I would be so excited about a new pool.
Yeah.
I think,
And I asked Philip, because Philip has a super, I mean, we drive to Philip, we go have coffee in Philip and go to the pool, like, that's something fun. And they did like this Chase the Ace thing, businesses donated, and I'm like, I would be willing to help with that, just to get something, because I truly do think people would stay, like, if you take the kids to the pool and the parents come shopping or eat, I truly do think that would be something, if we want something in our town to make people stay here, I think that is like more the right direction. We talked to Rashawn about basketball tournaments, people coming here in the winter, because we're right here, like, there's Murdo, there's all these towns that come here, but they go to Rapid City. So we've talked about, we've talked a lot about how to bring people in, and just nothing ever sticks.
I think something maybe on the cheaper end budget will be, even if not going for the pool repairs, it could be a kid attraction like trampolines or
Right.
something. Or I seen that they actually put in the climbing wall in Deadwood another day, they just brought up the wall, you know, on a
Yeah,
huge
I-
truck
that
and
too.
stuff, I mean. We can make a kid dedicated section where it also gonna make some families stay a little bit longer in town. So they can feel a little bit relaxed, kids release their energy, they're gonna go and eat, and then they're gonna go shop, and then they're gonna go in a vehicle and go elsewhere. But it's going to give us a little bit more time on the ground for families who are just looking to get their energy and their energy out of them. So.
Right, we'd love to donate to a project like that, I mean, like, we totally love to support the communities that we're in. And, another fact, not a fact, I heard this somewhere and I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard the hotel room bookings have been pretty weak this year in the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know where I heard it, so can't say 100% that's true, but I heard something about that. So people aren't staying the night, and I guess that's what we're discussing here, so. But yeah,
And I'd like to add one thing that, yeah, Wall has been a great community for a long time. But we all know they're building west. They're attracting west. What are we gonna do for Wall? Whether it's updating our business, fronts, or what are we gonna do to keep them here for longer periods of time and spend their money? That's the number one, and I think part of this, our businesses are a big draw, and we need to figure that out to keep them here. There's a lot of other things we need to do too, we brought up, but back to Main Street. What do we want to do on our Main Street to keep them here and shop, spend their money?
Longer business hours. When you pull into town and everything's closed and it's for sure gonna go on, why would you spend the same amount of money for a hotel room here as you do in Rapid, it has nothing to do here.
Okay,
Half of one side of our main street doesn't have businesses, operable businesses. A fourth of the other side doesn't.
And it gets even worse in the winter, unfortunately. I've heard rumor this year, the whole west side's gonna be closed. What are they gonna do when they stop here in the winter? They're gonna go into Wall Drug and hopefully, and have a bite to eat and go on down the road. Done. Because Wall's closed. So that's an important part, it's not part of it we're here for, but it is important.
We're kinda, and I'm sure the other business owners. I think as long as we practically won't have any staff other than our year-round people. That affects how long we can be open and stuff. I mean, we had a great crew this year, but they're all leaving.
That's very true.
same, yeah, we have a hard time with staffing in this town. And we find that we think we're pretty awesome people to work for. I mean, in Deadwood, one of our managers, we finance a Cadillac for her. Another one of our employees, we finance another Cadillac. We just bought another Lincoln for our couple other employees to drive as a get-around car, and we retired an older Buick that we had in 2012. So we try to do things for our people that work with us and stay with us, but at the same time, it's really hard to find enough staff to operate. So when it comes into the winter months, it gets even more difficult for us. But we'd love to stay open. We're looking at problems coming up as early as 1st of October for staffing, and we would love to stay open a lot later than that, but we're having a hard time with staffing.
That's why it's important to make the best of it during the summer. Make it as attractive, as inviting, as good as we can, I guess, because a lot of times, people, they're only aware of the Waldorf side because you guys are the main attraction. And of course, you're going to be the stop, you are the reason why they're stopping in here. But we just would like to have a little bit of those people also being aware of the other side has something to offer as well, except for the empty building and a huge brown wall that we have right there. Because that's kind of what they see. They don't see a little gift shop when there's nothing in front of the building. There's not a t-shirt, there's not a flower pot. They oversee that. They only see the huge taped windows and a huge brown wall. That's their main thing that they always jumps into their eyes.
Highly
So,
uninviting.
having a few things on a door, I would say definitely would help us to get awareness and just get attraction from the customers who even just drive by and they're like, oh, those guys are open too. Let's go to the Wall Drug and let's see the other guys on the other side.
And that's the way we've done it for like 12 years in town until we recently had this ordinance issue come up, and then we had to take everything down, but we had it that way for like 12 years in town till then. So we're complying, and we just like to work together and find a solution that everyone's happy with.
In order for me to be open in the off season, which is the winter, I have to make more money in the season, in the summer. So one of the ways to make money in this season, which is the summer, is merchandise outside or display, nice display outside. I mean, let's face it. Most of people, I'm not sure, I cannot talk about everybody, but most people probably not making money in the season, in the off season. Or they are probably losing money in the off season. To pay for the electricity, the employee, the heat, the gas, all this stuff.
You're right about that.
So we need to help each other to make more money in the season. And it's a race against other towns in the Black Hills. That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm trying to explain. And let's find a way to help everybody.
I hear you saying that you want to work together to help Wall because our competition is the towns in the hills. And what can we do to get people to spend more money here?
Exactly.
So to just do a summary of what I think we've heard today is that, we need to wash our sidewalks on a weekly basis, which that's something the city can do and that should not be a problem. We are in favor of benches on both sides of the street. Correct? Are we hearing that? And, Judy is about, getting those done by, with, memorial money. I think I've heard that racks are not appealing and that we're not, we're concerned about the 5 foot, rule. What else have people heard today?
Display merchandise along the building.
Up against the building or on doors, that, I don't know if there's a lot of people opposed.
I just have a question, if I may. Why did, after 12 years, did we ask them to remove? What went on different this year didn't happen last year?
Nathan came to town.
We got a new business in town.
Sorry, Nathan, throw you under the bus.
He was on the actual side and, me, from my perspective, looking at it, and he has like this tiny pot over there. So, and all the, things are right around the rack. So what I did is actually, I did purchase a couple of racks myself. And I put the racks in front of our business, just because it was, again, it's either.
Competition.
Yeah, it has to be a fair treatment, so if he's allowed, because I assume that, hey, maybe something changed, maybe they haven't heard about something, so. If he's doing it, I'm gonna do it as well. So, but my racks, they're a little bit more tucked into the building, I'm not in favor of a super bright, different color, they're looking like you just wanna poke your eye out, so. We're trying to keep a little bit more of a classier look, we had some pajamas, we had some hoodies. And then when the city ordinances came and we had a meeting, we just pulled it all inside. And with that says, even the things that we used to have on the doors for 12 years, because we used to display top and bottom of pajama, a couple of hoodies and t-shirts, everything at that point had to go. So, and we don't mind.
Could we compromise then to say that putting, displays on the doors? Is that gonna be acceptable?
Did everyone comply with
Mhm.
all the ordinance? Nothing indoors?
Yep.
When we asked them, and that's how I started today, was to express my, how grateful I was, that when we did ask them, they complied, but at the same time now, I feel that they did what we asked, they're coming with some suggestions and requests, and can we compromise with them in that respect of what they said, which was displaying on their doors.
I just
Items,
think it's a snowball effect. I think that's what happened with the current ordinance.
Well, I can
It
keep
just
my
got
word,
worse
if it's
and
going
worse.
to be allowed to display it on the doors. I can keep my word and my promise that it's not gonna fall onto the street or anything. And, 4 hangers that we used to have on the one door and 4 hangers on the other, they were not even extending beyond the door. So. That's me.
Oh, we can do what city of Custer do. They allow you 2 to 3 feet, outside your store. We can compromise 1 foot from the store, that you can do whatever you wanna do, but you have only 1 foot.
Ryan, you have a question.
Before she left there, I looked at a picture that, I think it was picture 19, maybe in Hill City, where it's just like a display fence over your window, which had hung the shirts on it. It's not touching the sidewalk. Does anybody have issues with those? I mean, I've been in Hill City, my daughter lived in Spearfish. I've been to Custer. We are on the bottom half of that list. We are not as inviting as you guys think. I mean, I've been here 15 years. Spearfish is mountain. It's such a nice community, very inviting. We are not at that level. Yeah.
College town.
Well, they got more money, I get it. But Wall is, of all the cities in the Black Hills, I've been here 15 years. We're on the bottom half of all these counties talking. We're in the middle. Are we happy there? Or do we want to move up? As coaches, I always tell my kids, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. We need to make some compromises to make this work, to improve the overall footprint, in my opinion. So.
And I'm okay with picture 19. I like to, maybe have a limit on how many you do.
Well, yeah, that might be a little on the audio.
And I would like to make sure there's no vulgar language, profanity, I
Right.
pooped today, it has to be tasteful. But I'm totally okay with that, just rules.
Another thing is, it's pretty windy town over here, so my issue, I do not like to even walk by my door when wind is blowing and I have t-shirts blowing in my face. So I always make sure that I will attach them and I'll just maybe put some zip ties around, so they are solid. So I just don't wanna have, if we're going to have this row up top, I don't want a t-shirt hitting people in the face, so they have to be secured. And again, for everybody's safety, and as long as it's not going to be on the ground, I don't think that there's gonna be any hurt in it.
Well, I think one thing that that I've gotten from listening to you guys is that, nobody wants to have shopping on the sidewalk. Now, if you wanna display, hey, here's a taste of what we have inside, come on in, that's fine, but nobody wants to have a group of people sorting through a rack, oh, no, that's not my size, and taking up a bunch of time there. If you wanna display some things on the side of the building that you own or rent as part of your business, that gives a taste of, come on in, this is what we're selling. I think mostly people are okay with that, but that would have to be something that the city is going to have to commit to standing behind whatever regulations you put on that. If you say you can have 4 t-shirts, somebody better be going down there and taking down the 5th t-shirt and making sure that they're gonna be responsible for that, because I hate having rules that we're going to put in place that aren't going to be enforced.
Wow.
If you tell your kid, hey, you can't have your cell phone today, but then let them do it anyways, you wasted your time and it's a joke to have that rule because you're not gonna enforce it. So that's kind of what I'm getting though, is if they don't want shopping on the sidewalks, but there's some room to negotiate on advertising on the sidewalks of displaying some of your goods that you have in your store, and I mean, there's nothing that's going to be unchangeable about trying that, I guess, in my mind, and if it doesn't work, go back to the old ordinance. That's what we're here is talking about, hey, then we can change it right back too, so I think there's a middle ground there.
Okay, so with that being said, that's a great maybe summary point as far as finding middle ground. So I was going to ask Carolyn to look at our ordinances, see if there's some things that we could change or improve. And then bring those ordinances or that signage or that verbiage back. I would like a committee of 3. I would like, Amanda, would you be one of the committees of 3? And Anita, would you be?
Sure.
Please? And
Just look over me. I'll go credit.
You say you're
Oh,
supposed
just
to.
kidding. You got her.
Wait.
You got her. You got her. That's fine.
And would I have one other, Molly, would you be a committee of 3? After she rewords that to see if she captures what I think we've heard here. I think we're totally in favor of benches on both sides of the street. Not racks, but if you can get that ordinance back to us. And the process of making a change in the ordinance does include the planning and zoning, so thank you guys for being here. The thing I hear from both Chris and Ryan is you bring an outside perspective because you didn't grow up here. And some of us have been here a long time and change is sometimes difficult. So I appreciate your perspective, but if there is, verbiage change in the ordinance and the committee reviews it and sees that it does reflect what was said here today, then it would go to the planning and zoning. So thank you for being here and listening to that. With that, is there any other closing remarks that we might make or something that we haven't addressed? We've been here a bit longer than I intended, but what are your thoughts? Do definitely remember that for Wall in the Fall, they did say that it was sidewalk sales. So Ally, describe sidewalk sales to me.
We just asked anything, you have to leave 5 feet, on the sidewalks. I guess that's the main parameter we made. You can put your merchandise on the outside for those allotted hours.
So you're talking racks, you're talking mannequins, you're talking sandwich boards.
Sidewalk sale, yes.
Okay,
For that day.
Yeah, just for that day.
for that day.
And we'll kind of push people, our hope is to keep people downtown longer. Yeah, a little bit of time before our Wall in the Fall event, our fall festival, and a little bit of time afterwards. And, yeah, hopefully just keep people in town that day. I just announced it on the radio, just a couple minutes ago, and, it'll be in the newspaper after.
Do you have anything that we can hand out to customers, like parking lot behind the powerhouse?
Yep, I actually came down this morning, I didn't realize, y'all must not open till after 9 or something, but I have flyers that I'll bring down to y'all today.
Okay.
Daniel,
So I was thinking maybe, what we can do if some of the businesses would be, willing to go along with it is maybe we can keep track of what we sell outside on this day and then compare our numbers and percentage of what it goes down either the day before or day after of the Wall in the Fall event.
I don't worry about that is because on a normal day where you're doing outside sales, you're not gonna have all the advertising that we're putting into it for this particular sale and also us pushing. So I don't know if it would be an accurate perception of what your regular sales would be without an event and the advertising.
Are you advertising to tourists?
Well, we're
Okay,
advertising
well, that's
on
another thing I would keep
Facebook, we're
track of
advertising on
is
the radio.
Local sales versus tourist sales.
Mhm.
And then Daniel, most of the time, the merchandise on outside is an attraction to get them inside, so you spend more money. So we're just trying to get them to come in the door, not to complete the transaction outside. Like we're not gonna wear money belts like Carnival. We just want them to come inside and maybe sell them something else. So I don't want them to complete the transaction outside. I'd rather them come
Of
inside.
course, but sometimes that whole, the rack or that item that's outside is the only reason that they come inside and then spend more money inside of the store.
Sure.
Because of that one item that you lose outside, and spend a few $100.
Sure. That's the point.
okay, and the last question I had, is anyone opposed to the Cowboy Square idea?
I think it'd be an awesome.
Love it.
Get a green area, amazing.
Five-star idea, 2 hearts, whatever you're gonna do for emojis.
One thing about that is that I wouldn't recommend like planting grass or something in there, if you're gonna make that
Turf.
green, I put like your turf stuff in there, so it stays green year round, you know, I mean.
Full maintenance.
Does the city have an unlimited budget?
We have a lot of ideas to do, but.
It's not gonna be the city, often, no.
But maybe
we got
there'll be
very tight
grants
business.
or something available that would help us to try to create a green area and wall grants and.
Yeah, when we went to Waco, Texas a couple years ago, my wife wanted to go to the Magnolia place and they have like a big, huge, just sitting area with like turf grass and then they have a couple trees or whatever planted. It's bigger than that little lot, but yeah, it was really nice for me to go hang out there while Amy went crazy.
And people eat outside
Right.
over there.
It'd be so good for our whole downtown.
Definitely, I agree, it would be, so.
So no one has an issue with that, that's totally good idea.
Great idea.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank
I appreciate you.
Thank you for your time.